In a small, peaceful town stood a police station near the main street. The station was always busy with officers going in and out, cars moving, and people walking past it every day. Near the gate of that station lived a little girl named Mina. She was only 9 years old with bright, curious eyes and a smile that made everyone happy. Mina loved animals, especially dogs. Every morning before school, she would walk by the police station, hoping to see the police dogs training in the yard. There was one dog she liked more than the others. His name was Bruno, a large brown and white German shepherd trained to find missing people and stop criminals. Bruno was strong, smart, and brave. But to Mina he looked kind. His eyes were full of warmth, and when he saw her from far away, his tail would move slowly like he remembered her. Mina had seen Bruno many times, but she never dared to go close. The officers always said the dogs were on duty and not to be disturbed. Still, she would stand behind the fence, waving at Bruno whenever she could. Sometimes he would bark softly, almost like he was greeting her back. One sunny morning, Mina was walking to school with her small backpack. She stopped near the station as usual. The yard was quiet. Then she saw Officer Rafik training Bruno. He was giving commands and Bruno followed perfectly. Sit, stay, run, catch. The dog moved fast, his ears up, his focus sharp. Mina smiled and clapped quietly. Officer Rafik noticed her and walked closer. He smiled kindly and said, "You like dogs, little one?" Mina nodded. "Yes, sir. Especially Bruno, he looks very smart." Rafik laughed. "He is smart. One of the best we have. Would you like to say hello?" Mina's eyes grew wide. "Can I?" "Yes, but only if you follow my words carefully," said Rafik. He called Bruno, who came running and sat beside him, calm and still. "Hold your hand out slowly. Let him smell it. Do not make sudden moves." Mina did exactly that. Bruno sniffed her hand and then licked her fingers once. Mina giggled softly. Rafik nodded in approval. "Looks like he likes you. That doesn't happen often." Bruno is serious with strangers. From that day on, every morning Mina stopped to greet Bruno before going to school. Sometimes Officer Rafik let her feed him small treats. Soon the dog began to wag his tail every time he saw her coming. The officers laughed and called Bruno the girl's guard. Weeks passed like that. Then one afternoon, something unusual happened. Mina was coming back from school when she saw police cars parked outside her street. People were talking loudly. She ran home quickly and found her mother outside looking worried. "What happened, Mama?" she asked. "There was a robbery at the jewelry shop," her mother said. "Police are searching for the men who ran away." Mina looked around and saw officers running toward the forest behind the market. Bruno was with them, barking loudly as he followed a trail. Mina's heart beat fast. She wanted to know what was happening, but her mother told her to stay inside. That night, the town was silent. Everyone locked their doors. Mina could not sleep. She kept thinking of Bruno out there in the dark forest. Was he safe? Did he catch the bad men? She looked out the window and whispered, "Be safe, Bruno." The next morning, she saw the police cars return. Bruno came back too, tired and covered in dust. Rafik was patting his back proudly. Mina ran outside and waved. Bruno lifted his head and wagged his tail once. He was happy to see her. Later that day, Rafik came to Mina's house. He smiled and said, "Bruno did something amazing last night. He found one of the thieves hiding in the forest. Without him, we might not have caught anyone." Mina's eyes shone with pride. "I knew he could do it," she said. From then on, Bruno became a hero in town. Everyone respected him even more. The newspapers printed his picture with the headline, "Police Dog Saves the Day." Mina cut out that picture and kept it in her school notebook. One morning when Mina was going to school, she noticed Bruno sitting near the gate of the station looking upset. He was not training. His head was low and he seemed restless. Mina asked an officer nearby, "Why is Bruno sad?" The officer sighed. "Officer Rafik went to another city for a few days. Bruno misses him. He doesn't eat much when his handler is away." Mina looked at Bruno and felt sad too. She wanted to cheer him up. She thought for a moment, then remembered something she had read in a library book about police dogs. It said that trained dogs understand hand signals. Each signal means something: sit, stay, run, or alert. She decided to test if Bruno would understand her too. That afternoon, when she came back from school, she stood near the fence and waved at Bruno. He lifted his head but did not move. She smiled and raised her hand, forming a small circle with her thumb and finger. a signal she made up herself. It was her secret signal. She wanted to see if Bruno would respond. Bruno tilted his head. For a moment, nothing happened. Then slowly he stood up and walked toward the fence. His eyes focused on her hand. Mina made the same signal again, this time moving it a little. Bruno barked softly and sat down. She smiled and whispered, "Good boy." Every day after that, she practiced her secret signal. No one else knew about it. Soon Bruno began to respond faster. When she raised her hand, he would bark twice. When she waved, he would lie down. It became their little game. One day, something unexpected happened. Mina was walking home when she saw two strange men standing near the police gate. They looked nervous and kept whispering to each other. Bruno was in his cage watching them. Mina stopped a few steps away. Her heart felt strange, like something was not right. She noticed one of the men trying to open the small gate quietly. Mina's hands trembled, but she remembered her secret signal. She lifted her hand and made the circle sign toward Bruno. Bruno's ears shot up. He barked loudly, once, twice, and then jumped toward the gate. The men panicked and ran away. Officers came rushing out of the building, chasing them down the road. People on the street turned to see what happened. Mina stood frozen, her heart pounding. One of the officers shouted, "Who alerted the dog?" Mina lowered her hand slowly. Bruno looked at her, tail wagging. Everyone stared in surprise. That was the moment when everything changed. The little girl had given a secret signal to a police dog, and his reaction had saved the day. No one could believe it, but it was true. After the day Bruno chased away the two strange men, the town could not stop talking about it. People gathered near the police station to hear the story. Officers were amazed that a little girl had helped alert Bruno, the police dog. Mina felt shy as many people looked at her with surprise and admiration. She did not expect anyone to notice her small secret signal. Officer Rafik returned from the other city that evening. Bruno ran to him immediately, barking happily and wagging his tail. Rafik smiled but then noticed Mina standing behind the fence. He walked to her and asked, "Did you do this?" Mina lowered her eyes. I just made a hand signal, sir." Bruno responded to it. Rafik knelt down and looked at her closely. "You mean you taught Bruno a secret signal?" Mina nodded slowly. "I did it for fun. I did not think it would help." Rafik smiled warmly. "You are very brave and smart. Not many people can communicate with a police dog. Bruno trusts you." From that day, the town began to treat Mina differently. She was no longer just the little girl who passed by the police station every day. People called her the girl who works with Bruno. Teachers and neighbors smiled at her in a new way. She felt proud but also a little nervous. She was still only 9 and it all felt too big. The police station decided to organize a small event to honor Bruno and the girl who helped him. They cleaned the yard, placed chairs, and invited the townspeople. Mina's mother tried to prepare her. "Remember, Mina, this is exciting, but stay calm. You will do fine," she said. On the day of the event, Mina wore her favorite dress. Bruno sat beside her, calm and alert. Officer Rafik spoke to the crowd first. He told them how Bruno had saved the police station from possible trouble. Then he smiled and said, "There is someone else who helped today. Someone very young but very brave." Mina's cheeks turned red. She did not expect the crowd to clap for her. People cheered and Bruno barked happily. Mina waved shyly. She looked at the crowd and whispered, "It was just a signal." Bruno did all the work. After the ceremony, Officer Rafik invited Mina into the training yard. "Do you want to learn more about police dogs?" he asked. "Yes," she said eagerly. Rafik smiled. "Bruno can teach you a lot, but you must promise to follow rules. Police dogs are serious and we must respect them," Mina promised. From that day on, she started visiting the station more often. She learned how dogs are trained, how they respond to different commands, and how to care for them. Bruno became her special teacher. Every signal she made, every command she whispered, he followed perfectly. She learned that dogs do not just listen with their ears. They watch, feel, and understand with their hearts. One afternoon, while Mina was practicing signals with Bruno, Officer Rafik came running toward them with an urgent look. "Mina, Bruno, we have an emergency. A child is missing near the river. We need Bruno to find him." Mina's heart skipped a beat. She had never seen Bruno work on a real case with her involved. She followed Rafik to the police car. Bruno jumped inside, alert and ready. When they reached the river, police officers were searching quickly. The missing boy was only 6 and his mother was crying. Mina stood quietly watching Bruno sniff the ground. She raised her hand subtly and gave the secret signal. Bruno's ears moved and he ran forward following the smell. Minutes passed like hours. Mina held her breath. Then Bruno barked loudly near the bushes. The officers rushed and found the little boy hiding behind a tree, safe but scared. His mother hugged him tightly, tears rolling down her face. Everyone turned to look at Mina. They were amazed that her small signal helped Bruno focus faster and reach the boy quickly. She felt proud and a little shy. Bruno came back panting but happy. He nudged her hand and she patted his head. After that day, Mina understood something important. Even small actions could make a big difference if used with care and thought. She also realized that trust between a dog and a human could be stronger than most people imagined. The next weeks were busy for the town. Police officers often invited Mina to watch training sessions. She learned about tracking, following scents, and reading a dog's behavior. Bruno became more responsive to her secret signals. Sometimes officers would watch in surprise as she silently directed Bruno to follow small tasks perfectly. One rainy afternoon, Mina was sitting by the window at home, thinking about the last few weeks. She remembered how scared she had felt when the 2 strange men tried to open the gate. She realized that courage was not only for adults or officers. Even a little girl could make a difference if she trusted her heart and her knowledge. Her mother came to her room. "Mina, you have grown very brave." "I am proud of you," she said, hugging her. Mina smiled. "I just like helping Bruno. He is my friend." Her mother nodded. "Friends can teach us many lessons. And sometimes they can help others too." That evening, Mina returned to the police station with a small notebook. She had started writing everything she learned about police dogs. Bruno sat beside her, watching her write. She wrote about his favorite treats, how he reacted to her hand signals, and how he behaved during emergencies. She wanted to remember every moment. Officer Rafik noticed her writing. "You are becoming very serious about this," he said with a smile. "Maybe one day you will become a police officer too." Mina giggled. "Or a dog trainer, but only for good dogs like Bruno." Rafik laughed. "That is a good plan. Always remember, a good dog needs a good heart, and a good trainer needs patience." One day, while Mina was practicing signals with Bruno, she noticed something unusual. A new police dog had arrived at the station. He was smaller and very energetic. Bruno watched him carefully, and Mina could see he was a little unsure. The new dog barked loudly and tried to run around the yard. Rafik said, "This is Max. He will be training with us. Bruno needs to help him settle in." Mina decided to help. She used her secret signal to call Bruno to her side. Then she guided him to approach Max calmly. Bruno sniffed the new dog and wagged his tail. Max seemed to relax too. Mina felt happy. She realized that her signals could help not only Bruno but also other dogs. That night, Mina lay in bed thinking. She had never imagined that a small secret signal could lead to so many important moments. She understood that courage, patience, and kindness could make ordinary people do extraordinary things. And she knew that Bruno was not only her friend but also her teacher. The days went by. Mina became known as the girl who could communicate with Bruno, but she remained humble. She did not tell everyone about her secret signal. She knew some things were better shared only with those who could understand them. One sunny morning, Mina and Bruno were playing in the training yard when Officer Rafik came running toward them with serious news. "Mina, we have another challenge. Someone is lost in the forest at the edge of town. We need Bruno to help again." Mina stood up, her heart beating fast. She had faced many small adventures with Bruno, but this one felt different. The forest was big and it could be dangerous. But she looked at Bruno, who barked once, ready and focused. She whispered her secret signal. Bruno responded immediately. Mina smiled. She felt brave too. Together they would face the forest and maybe help someone in need once more. The forest at the edge of the town looked quiet that morning, but there was a sense of tension in the air. Birds chirped softly and the wind moved through the tall trees, making the leaves whisper. Mina held her backpack tightly as she followed Officer Rafik and Bruno. Bruno walked confidently ahead, sniffing the ground and checking every path. Mina's heart beat fast. She had never been inside the forest for a search like this before. Officer Rafik stopped for a moment. "Remember, Mina, stay close and follow my instructions. Bruno is trained, but we must all be careful." Mina nodded. "Yes, sir." She looked at Bruno. His ears were up, his eyes sharp. He seemed to understand that this search was serious. She quietly raised her hand and gave the secret signal. Bruno barked once, then ran a few steps ahead and stopped, looking back at her as if to say, "I am ready." They started walking deeper into the forest. Bruno moved from tree to tree, sniffing the air. Every now and then he would bark softly, signaling that he had found a scent. Mina followed closely, trying to pay attention to every sound. The forest was large and small animals moved quickly through the bushes. After about 20 minutes, Bruno stopped suddenly. He sniffed the ground and then ran a little way before stopping again. Mina raised her hand, signaling him. He barked twice and ran toward a thick patch of bushes. Officer Rafik whispered, "This is a good sign. He is on the trail." Mina felt a mix of fear and excitement. She had never been part of a real search before. She held her hand ready, giving the secret signal quietly. Bruno barked 3 times and ran faster, weaving carefully through the trees. Suddenly, a small sound came from behind the bushes. It was a soft whimper. Mina's eyes widened. "I think someone is there," she said. Bruno ran toward the sound and stopped near a small clearing. There, crouched under a tree, was a young boy. He looked scared and tired, his clothes dirty from walking through the forest. Bruno barked happily but gently, wagging his tail. The boy looked up and smiled faintly, feeling relief. Officer Rafik and Mina ran to him. "Are you okay?" Rafik asked. The boy nodded slowly. "I got lost while picking flowers. I could not find the way back," he said softly. Mina knelt beside him. "It's okay now. Bruno helped us find you. You are safe." The boy looked at the dog, amazed. "The dog? He found me?" "Yes," Mina said, patting Bruno. "He is a very smart dog." Bruno stayed calm, letting the boy touch his head. The boy laughed softly and the tension in his body disappeared. Mina smiled. She felt proud that her secret signal had helped Bruno focus and find the boy quickly. Rafik spoke gently to the boy. "We will take you back to your home. Don't worry, everything is safe now." As they walked back toward the edge of the forest, neighbors who had come to help were waiting. When they saw the boy returning safely, everyone cheered. Mina stayed a little behind with Bruno. She raised her hand again, signaling him quietly. Bruno barked twice, happy and proud. The boy's parents hugged him tightly, tears of relief running down their faces. "Thank you, officers." "And thank you, Bruno," the mother said. Rafik looked at Mina. "You were very brave, Mina. Your signal helped Bruno work faster. You are a hero, too." Mina smiled softly, feeling shy but happy. She did not expect so many people to notice her. Bruno nudged her hand with his nose as if saying, "We did it together." After that day, the town's respect for Mina and Bruno grew even more. People would wave to her when she passed by the police station, calling her the little helper of Bruno. She smiled every time, but kept her secret signal private. Only Bruno knew what it meant. Weeks went by and Mina continued visiting the police station. She learned more about police dogs, their training, and how they could help people in danger. Bruno remained her special partner. They practiced daily, using hand signals and quiet commands. The bond between them grew stronger. Bruno trusted Mina as much as he trusted Officer Rafik. One morning, while Mina was practicing with Bruno in the yard, a police officer came running. "Mina, Bruno, we need help. Someone has reported a lost puppy in the town park. It is very small and scared." Mina's eyes lit up. "Bruno, let's go find it," she said. She made her secret signal. Bruno barked once and ran toward the park. When they reached the park, the puppy was hiding under a bench, trembling. Mina knelt down slowly, holding out her hand. Bruno watched carefully. Mina made the circle signal again, and Bruno barked softly, then sat calmly beside her. The puppy slowly crawled toward them, sensing that they were friendly. Mina picked up the puppy gently. "Don't worry, little one. You are safe now," she whispered. Bruno wagged his tail, happy to see the puppy calm. Officer Rafik arrived and smiled. "Once again, you and Bruno helped someone. You have a special connection with him, Mina." Mina felt proud. She understood that helping others was not always about big actions. Sometimes small actions, like her secret signal, could make a huge difference. That evening, Mina returned home and wrote in her notebook about the forest search and the lost puppy. She drew pictures of Bruno, herself, and the boy they had saved. Writing helped her remember every detail. She realized that every day with Bruno was a lesson in courage, trust, and kindness. The next week, a new training exercise started at the police station. It was called the rescue drill, where officers and dogs practiced finding lost people in different locations. Mina was invited to watch and help. She brought her notebook and observed carefully. During the drill, Bruno performed perfectly. He followed the tracks, sniffed the air, and found the hidden victims quickly. Mina practiced her hand signals quietly, and Bruno responded faster than ever. The officers were impressed. "The dog listens to you as well," Rafik said. "That is unusual. You have a very special bond," Mina smiled. She felt happy, but she also felt responsibility. Bruno trusted her, and she had to be careful with every signal she gave. She knew that with trust came responsibility. One afternoon, as Mina was walking home, she saw a group of children playing near the river. She noticed that one boy had wandered too close to the water. Her heart raced. She ran toward the boy, calling his name softly. Bruno, who was with her, barked once and ran ahead. Mina made her secret signal, and Bruno moved quickly toward the boy. The boy slipped slightly, but Bruno reached him in time and helped guide him back to the shore. Mina hugged the boy's shoulder. "Be careful next time," she said gently. The boy looked at Bruno in awe. "Your dog is amazing." Mina smiled. "He is my friend, too. He helps everyone when he can." That night, Mina lay in bed thinking. She realized that her secret signal was not just a fun game. It had become a way to help people and keep them safe. She felt proud but also calm. She knew that the real hero was Bruno, but she was happy to be part of his work. As she closed her eyes, she thought about the adventures that were still to come. The forest, the lost boy, the puppy, and many small moments had taught her courage, patience, and kindness. She knew that every day could bring something new, and with Bruno by her side, she was ready for anything. The town was busy preparing for its annual fair. Colorful banners hung across the streets, and small stalls appeared selling toys, sweets, and snacks. The air was filled with laughter and excitement. Mina was especially happy. She loved fairs, and this year she could visit it with Bruno, who had become her constant companion. Early that morning, Mina went to the police station to see Bruno. He was already waiting, his tail wagging as soon as he saw her. "Are you ready for the fair, Bruno?" she asked, scratching behind his ears. Bruno barked once in response, and Mina smiled. She held her hand up and gave her secret signal. Bruno barked twice and stayed close to her side, calm but alert. Officer Rafik joined them. "I will come too," he said. "But we have to be careful. Fairs are fun, but they are crowded. We need to keep everyone safe." Mina nodded eagerly. She felt proud that she was trusted to be near Bruno in a busy place. The streets were already crowded with people when they arrived at the fair. Music played, children laughed, and the smell of popcorn and sweet treats filled the air. Bruno stayed close to Mina, sniffing the ground and watching the crowd carefully. Mina ran to a small stall to buy a balloon. She held it tightly and turned back to see Bruno watching a group of children playing. Everything seemed normal. But then, from the corner of her eyes, she noticed something strange. A man was moving quickly between stalls, looking around nervously. He did not look like he belonged there. Mina felt a small chill. She raised her hand slightly, giving her secret signal to Bruno. The dog's ears shot up and he looked at her intently. Bruno barked softly and moved toward the man, keeping close to Mina but ready to act. Officer Rafik noticed Bruno's behavior. "Good boy," he said quietly. "Bruno has a sense when something is not right." The man paused near a stall and then tried to sneak toward the exit. Bruno barked loudly and people turned to look. The man froze. Mina's heart raced, but she stayed calm. She gave Bruno another signal, and he walked slowly toward the man, blocking his path. The man panicked and tried to push past, but Bruno barked again and stood firm. People started noticing, and a few nearby officers moved in. The man realized he could not escape and stopped. Officer Rafik and two other officers came quickly and asked him to put his hands up. Mina watched quietly, feeling a mix of fear and pride. Bruno had stopped the man without anyone getting hurt. It was clear that her secret signal had helped him focus and act at the right moment. Once the man was taken away safely, the crowd cheered for Bruno. Mina smiled shyly, patting his head. "Good job, Bruno, you are amazing," she whispered. Bruno wagged his tail happily as if he understood her words. The fair continued, but the police officers were more careful now. Mina stayed close to Bruno. She realized that even in fun times danger could appear and being alert was important. She also understood that her secret signal was not just a game. It could help save people and prevent trouble. Later, Mina and Bruno went to the carousel. The ride spun slowly and children laughed as they went around. Mina held her balloon tightly and watched Bruno relax a little. It was nice to see him calm after the earlier excitement. While they were watching, a little boy ran past Mina and dropped his small bag. Inside were toys and a notebook. Mina picked it up and ran after the boy. "Excuse me," she called. "You dropped your bag." The boy turned and smiled. "Thank you. I was so worried I lost it." Mina handed him the bag. "Be careful next time," she said. The boy nodded and ran back to his parents. Mina looked at Bruno and made a small signal. Bruno barked once and she laughed softly. The rest of the afternoon was full of fun. Mina tried candy apples, watched a puppet show, and even helped some younger children find their parents when they got lost. Bruno stayed by her side, alert but friendly. People in the crowd were amazed at how well the dog followed her lead. As the sun began to set, the fair prepared for its closing event, a small fireworks display. Mina held Bruno close, knowing that loud sounds could sometimes scare dogs. Bruno stayed calm, glancing at her from time to time. She patted his head and whispered, "It is okay. We are together." Suddenly, during the fireworks, a new problem appeared. A small girl ran away from her parents, frightened by the loud noise. She ran toward the crowded street near the exit. Mina noticed immediately. She raised her hand slightly, giving her secret signal. Bruno's ears shot up. He ran gently toward the little girl, carefully guiding her back toward safety without frightening her. Officer Rafik and another officer came to help, and soon the girl was back with her parents. They hugged her tightly, thanking Bruno and Mina. "You saved my daughter," the mother said. Mina felt a warm glow in her heart. She had helped without anyone getting hurt, and Bruno had followed her signal perfectly. After the fireworks, the fair quieted down. People left slowly, smiling and talking about the exciting day. Mina and Bruno walked back toward the police station. She felt tired but happy. Bruno wagged his tail, tired too, but he looked proud. The next morning, Mina received a small letter from the town mayor. It was an invitation to a special event honoring citizens who had helped others. Mina read it carefully. The letter mentioned Bruno, too, and thanked both of them for keeping the town safe during the fair. Mina smiled. She could hardly believe it. When she showed the letter to her mother, she said, "Mama, we did something important. Bruno and I helped so many people yesterday." Her mother hugged her tightly. "I am so proud of you, Mina. You are brave, kind, and smart. But remember, it is always teamwork." Bruno and the officers helped too. Mina nodded. She knew her mother was right. Even though her secret signal was important, it was the team effort that made every success possible. Bruno, Officer Rafik, the other officers, and even the people in the crowd had all played a part. That afternoon, Mina practiced more with Bruno in the training yard. She made new signals and tested his reactions. Bruno responded perfectly. She felt happy that their bond had grown even stronger. She realized that every day could teach something new. While practicing, a police officer came running with a message. "Mina, we need your help. There is a new situation near the river. Some animals have wandered into the town streets and they need to be guided back safely." Mina's eyes lit up. She quickly gave her secret signal to Bruno. The dog barked twice and ran ahead, ready to help. Mina followed, carrying a small bag with treats. Together they moved through the town streets, guiding frightened animals back to safety, without anyone getting hurt. By the evening, the town was calm again. Mina felt proud of everything they had accomplished. She looked at Bruno and whispered, "We make a good team, don't we?" Bruno barked once, wagging his tail. Mina laughed softly. As night fell, Mina lay in bed thinking about the fair, the lost children, and the animals. She realized that helping others was not always easy, but it felt wonderful. She also knew that her secret signal and her trust in Bruno could make a real difference. She closed her eyes, dreaming of more adventures with Bruno. She knew that the next day could bring something new, exciting, or challenging. But she also knew that as long as she had Bruno by her side, she could face anything with courage, kindness, and careful thinking. The town had returned to its peaceful rhythm after the fair, but Mina's adventures with Bruno were far from over. One sunny morning, Officer Rafik called her to the police station. His face was serious, and Bruno sat next to him, alert and ready. "Mina," Rafik said, "we have received news that a hiker is missing on the mountain near the town. The forest there is larger and wilder than the one near the river. We need all the help we can get." Mina's eyes widened. The mountain was big, and she had never been there before. She felt a mix of fear and excitement. I can come with Bruno?" she asked. Rafik smiled. "Yes, but you must stay close and follow my instructions carefully. Bruno can handle the mountain, but he will need you too." Mina nodded. She felt brave and ready. Bruno barked once as if agreeing. Together they followed Rafik to the base of the mountain. The climb was slow at first. The paths were rocky and the trees were tall and thick. Mina held her backpack tightly, carrying a small bottle of water and a notebook. Bruno sniffed the ground constantly, his nose working to pick up any scent. Mina watched closely and gave her secret signal whenever she thought Bruno needed guidance. He responded immediately, alert and focused. After an hour of climbing, they reached a small clearing. Rafik stopped and looked around. "The hiker could be anywhere. We need to split into teams. Mina, you stay with Bruno. We will scout ahead, but stay close to the trail." Mina swallowed her fear. She nodded. Bruno stayed close, his eyes never leaving her. The wind moved through the trees and she felt the mountain was alive with sounds, birds calling, leaves rustling, and small animals moving quickly. Suddenly, Bruno stopped. He sniffed the ground and barked once. Mina raised her hand, giving the secret signal. Bruno moved quickly ahead, leading her along a narrow path. Minutes passed and the path grew steeper. Mina felt tired but kept moving. Bruno stopped again and barked loudly. From behind a cluster of bushes, they heard a soft voice. "Help! Please!" Mina ran toward the voice, Bruno at her side. There, trapped between two rocks, was a young hiker. He looked frightened and tired. His leg was scraped and he could not climb back up the path. "Don't worry," Mina said softly. "We will help you." Bruno stayed calm, watching the boy carefully. Mina checked the injury. "It is not too bad, we need to go slowly." Rafik and the other officers arrived soon after, guided by Bruno's earlier barks. Together, they lifted the boy carefully and made their way down the mountain. Bruno walked beside Mina, attentive to her hand signals, ready to protect and guide. When they reached the base, the boy's parents were waiting, anxious and worried. Tears filled their eyes as they hugged him tightly. Thank you all," the mother cried. Mina smiled, feeling proud but also relieved. Bruno barked once and wagged his tail. The boy looked at the dog in awe. He saved me." "Yes," Mina said, patting Bruno gently. "He is a very smart dog, and he listens to me." The officers laughed, but Rafik spoke seriously. "Bruno is brave and smart, but he trusts Mina because she has been patient and careful. That is why he listens to her." That evening, the town celebrated the safe return of the hiker. News reporters came and photographs were taken. Bruno was praised again as a hero, but Mina stayed quiet, smiling softly. She had done her part, but she knew the real hero was Bruno. Still, her secret signal had made a big difference. After the celebration, Mina returned home. She sat by her desk and opened her notebook. She wrote about the mountain, the hiker, and how Bruno had helped. She drew pictures of the path, the trees, and Bruno's brave actions. She realized that writing helped her remember every detail and every lesson she learned. Days passed, and Mina continued her training with Bruno. They practiced new signals, learning to communicate in more ways. Bruno became even more responsive, and their teamwork improved. Mina understood that trust and patience were the foundation of their bond. One morning, while practicing in the police yard, a small commotion started near the street. A kitten had climbed a tall tree and could not come down. People gathered around, worried for the small animal. Mina's eyes lit up. She gave her secret signal to Bruno. He barked once and ran to the base of the tree. Bruno stayed calm and watched Mina as she guided the kitten. With careful movements, she encouraged the kitten to climb down slowly. Bruno stood nearby, alert and protective. Finally, the kitten reached the ground safely. People clapped, impressed at how calmly the dog and the girl worked together. Mina laughed softly. "Good job, Bruno. You are always careful." Bruno barked happily, wagging his tail. Weeks went by, and Mina's bond with Bruno grew stronger. They learned to trust each other completely. Bruno understood her hand signals, her voice, and even her expressions. Mina realized that communication did not always need words. Sometimes, it was a feeling, a gesture, or a small signal that spoke louder than words. One evening, Mina's mother called her. "Mina, the mayor wants to see you tomorrow. Something special is planned." Mina was curious. The next day, she went to the town hall with Bruno by her side. The mayor greeted her warmly. "Mina, the town is proud of you and Bruno. You have helped so many people, and your courage and kindness have inspired everyone. Today we want to give you a special award." Mina felt shy but proud. She received a small medal shaped like a paw print and a certificate of appreciation. Bruno barked happily, standing beside her. The crowd cheered for both of them. As they walked back home, Mina thought about everything that had happened. From the first day she met Bruno, to the secret signals, to the forest, the fair, and the mountain, she had learned so much. Courage, patience, kindness, and trust had guided her through every challenge. That night, Mina sat by her window looking at the stars. Bruno lay beside her, calm and protective. She whispered softly, "Thank you, Bruno. You are my friend, my teacher, and my hero." Bruno lifted his head and nudged her hand gently. Mina smiled, feeling warmth in her heart. She knew that their adventures were not over. The town, the forests, and even the mountains might hold more challenges. But she also knew that with Bruno by her side, she could face anything with courage and care. The next morning, Mina woke up early. She looked at Bruno and said, "Are you ready for another adventure?" Bruno barked once and wagged his tail. Mina laughed softly. Together, they were unstoppable. From that day on, Mina and Bruno continued to help their town. They guided lost children, found missing pets, and assisted officers whenever needed. People admired them not just for bravery, but for their teamwork and trust. The secret signal remained their little bond, a quiet way of communicating that no one else could understand. And so, in the small, peaceful town, a little girl and her police dog became a team that everyone could rely on. Through courage, patience, and friendship, they showed that even the smallest person can make a big difference. Bruno, the brave dog, and Mina, the clever girl, continued to face each challenge together. Their adventures became stories that people would remember for years, proving that trust, kindness, and a little signal could change everything.